Is Klay Thompson gone? Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Ernst Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content and hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. Since the 2024 NBA season has just ended, there's been a lot of news going around the NBA world, including the coaching carousel where we just saw JJ Redick become the next head basketball coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, which I believe was a massive mistake. But we've also seen the NBA draft just happen where all these future players are going to be joining the NBA teams this year, and we're going to see which players end up becoming stars and which players end up becoming busts. There's always going to be some surprises there. But now we've got the free agency market going on in the NBA. We've already seen some players re-sign, like OG Anunoby getting that massive extension with the New York Knicks. Some people are saying that he is not worth that much, but that's how much money that these players are basically demanding now in the NBA, because the NBA makes so much money and so many people watch the games in person and on TV and buy the merchandise and all those sorts of things. Plus, the devaluing of the dollar has ended up making it where players are making so much money. But there are some players where it doesn't look like they're going to sign an extension with their team, kind of like Paul George, who looks like he's leaving the Los Angeles Clippers, and he could go to a whole host of teams like the Lakers or the Warriors or the Thunder or the Magic, which some of those spots wouldn't be too bad for Paul George at all. He is a guy who still has a lot of talent left, even though he is older and he has been injured a lot recently. He's still a really good player. But another player that is getting older and who's been injured recently, but still has a lot left in the tank, I believe, but he's a player that people wouldn't have expected to leave just even a year ago, is Klay Thompson. And I'm going to go over in this video whether I believe that Klay Thompson is going to leave the Warriors for good, and if it's the right decision for him to part ways with the Warriors. Now, the Splash Brothers, they have been united since they first entered the league, back when Stephon Curry joined the Warriors in 2009, and then Klay Thompson joined, and then Draymond Green did as well when he got drafted out of Michigan State. All three of those guys have been on the same team since they joined the NBA. And in this era where players and teams are not loyal to each other anymore, it's been kind of nice to see these three guys continue to be on the same team and have so much success, whether you like the Warriors or not. And I'm not saying I'm the biggest Warriors fan in the world, but still, it has just been nice to see all of these guys have so much success, and it's been on the same team, and they haven't ever moved on to another team. It's just frustrating watching the Kevin Durant's and the James Hardens and the LeBron James just flip-flop to all these different teams. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but even when Tom Brady, when he left the New England Patriots to go to the Tampa Bay Bucks, because of the fact that the New England Patriots weren't going to pay him as much as the Tampa Bay Bucks ended up paying him, it set the precedent. If a player isn't going to end up making enough of what he wants to make or feels that he deserves to make, then he's just going to go to a different team, even if it means sacrificing his teammates and the legacy and the history of that player being on that certain team with his teammates. That's just going away. The era of Dirk Nowitzki staying with the Dallas Mavericks through his whole career, and even when he was older and he was not anywhere near as good as he used to be, the Mavericks didn't get rid of him, and he reduced his contract. Udonis Haslem was on the Miami Heat forever. He barely even played the last 10 years of his career, but they didn't pay him that much. And I feel like as a player, you should do that. And this is what's going on with Klay Thompson. He still feels that he is worth a lot of money, which I don't blame him. He averaged 17 points per game this past season for the Warriors, and he shot almost 40% from three, but he clearly was not as good this past season as he has been in years past. And the Warriors are nowhere near as good of a team right now as they used to be. The dynasty is coming to an end. And unfortunately, whether people like it or not, it is sad to see, but all dynasties do come to an end. And it seems like the Warriors dynasty with Klay Thompson, Stephon Curry, and Draymond Green, it is past their prime. Curry is still a fantastic player, and Draymond Green, he still has his worth, but he's not demanding nowhere near as much money as Klay Thompson is probably going to be demanding right now. And that is why Klay Thompson is probably going to end up leaving the Warriors. And what's crazy is a couple of days ago, this was nowhere even close to being the case, because the odds were that he was going to stay with the Warriors at -110, and then the Magic, it was +150, and then the Lakers was +900. So when you look at it now, I've asked people on Twitter, do you think Klay Thompson will leave the Golden State Warriors? Warriors, and 81% of people are saying yes. Now, obviously, that's just a Twitter poll. People could absolutely be wrong, but definitely the tide has shifted on people thinking that he's going to return. My buddy Jackson said that he's going to leave. In his opinion, the only question is where he will go. And Steve said yes, he will and should. All dynasties come to an end. Dallas would be a good landing spot. And I can't say that I necessarily disagree because of the fact the dynasty is far over. And even if Klay Thompson takes a pay cut with the Warriors, it doesn't even mean that the Warriors are going to end up being any good anyway. But if Klay Thompson did take a pay cut, then it would allow the Warriors to possibly be able to bring in a player like Paul George who could come in and give another scoring option and boost to the team. So you would have Paul George, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Curry, and all the other players on the team. Maybe they would actually be solid. Would they be title material? I don't think so, but it would give them a chance where they're nowhere near it right now. But that's not going to end up happening more than likely because of the fact that Klay Thompson is probably going to be demanding too much money. And it's sad. I'm not saying that Klay Thompson is wrong for feeling that way. Go get your bag. Go get your money if that's what you want to do. He's still a really solid player, but he's not the player that he once was. And yes, that injury really, really hurt. He was out for 2.5 years, but he did come back and he was playing really well in 2022 and 2023. But this past season, it was definitely a regression for Klay Thompson. And for Steph Curry, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if Klay Thompson does actually go to another team, because he said in their season finale loss at the end of the regular season, I can never see myself not with those guys, talking about Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. And he just says that he wants to win no matter what it takes. He doesn't care how the Warriors are going to end up winning as long as it ends up being with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, because he's always played with these guys and he doesn't want that to change. And it's going to be sad to see if Klay Thompson goes, because we know Curry still got more in the tank and the Warriors will be able to replace Klay Thompson with another player. But interestingly enough, it does not seem like Paul George is going to be going to the Warriors. It looks like other teams are the favorite to land him. So if they don't get Paul George, which player are they going to get? They're going to have to get somebody to replace Klay Thompson. Or if they do lose him, they're going to be even worse next season than they were this year. And that's going to frustrate Steph Curry. And then maybe the whole thing will fall apart. But it is what it is. We are in the era where money talks over almost anything else. Dynasties are not meant to last forever. You're not allowed to have players on the same team for 20 years. I get it. I'm not saying necessarily that that should be the case, because we saw Dirk decline so much with the Dallas Mavericks in those last few years. They were very painful to watch. But still, even LeBron James, which we know why it's an act and he wants to play with his son so badly on the Lakers. We know that. But even he's thinking about restructuring his contract with the Lakers to make less money so they can possibly get a Paul George added to the team so maybe they can be better, which to me, even with JJ Redick, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that whole situation, that mess, I just don't see them really ever being successful in LeBron James' twilight years. Even though he's still a good player, I just don't see them having a lot of success. But the Warriors, they are in a massive pickle. And if I had to guess, I would say that I believe Klay Thompson will end up leaving the Golden State Warriors. There's still a chance he returns. I've seen stranger things. Maybe Klay Thompson has a change of heart. Maybe the Warriors will end up signing to the contract that he wants, which I think that would be a big mistake. They can't afford to do that. But maybe Klay Thompson will take a pay cut. I don't really see that being likely. He's probably going to leave. The dynasty's already over, but it will be an end of an era with no longer the Splash Brothers being on the same team. And that's going to unfortunately be sad to see. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, whether you believe that Klay Thompson is going to leave the Golden State Warriors and whether you feel that it is the right time for him to leave. And if he does leave, who do you think the Golden State Warriors should and can bring in through free agency to be able to possibly make their team better next season? Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.